Building muscle and getting a good physique is actually much more simple than a lot of people make it out to be. Nowadays, it has become so overcomplicated, and it could be because there's so many opinions that everybody has access to now, and we're all looking for that new thing. Everybody loves novelty, the new study, and the new workout plan, and this and that. But realistically, it's about doing the simple things. It's about doing these simple things time and time and time again for a long period of time, right? And as long as you follow the simple rules and the most important rules of training, nutrition, and recovery, then you're gonna see muscle mass growth over long periods of time, right? The most important factors under training are gonna be your progressive overload, your intensity, and your mind muscle connection, right? It's not which exercises you're doing or how many reps and how many sets and your different kind of protocols. In that sense, it's more so the fundamentals. Are you progressively overloading every time you train the muscle? For example, are you doing more reps or more weight than you did last time? As long as you continue to do that week by week, month by month, year by year, you're going to continue to see progress, right? Now, here's the mistake a lot of people make when it comes to mind muscle connection. So, people focus on getting from A to B, but they don't realize that between the bottom portion of the exercise and the top portion of the exercise, there's the entire alphabet, right? There's A, B, C, D, E, all the way up to Z. So what you want to do is, rather than focusing on just getting to the end result, you want to focus on the process of getting from point A to point Z. So if I'm doing a bicep curl, I'm thinking about my bicep the entire time. The bicep's carrying this weight throughout the entire movement. And on the way back down, my bicep is holding on to the weight, right? It's not just letting it go back to point A and then coming back up to point B, right? And you can even see if I just do the movement and I don't think about my bicep's not very stimulated. But rather, if I think about my bicep, you could see how much more it's engaged. Of course, I'm flexing here and not flexing here, so of course my bicep's going to be engaged when it's flexing. But the whole point is that you want to have that engagement throughout the entire exercise, right? Staring at the muscle, thinking about the muscle, stretching, tearing apart, and then contracting nicely at the top of the movement. You could do that with no weight at all right now sitting here, and you'll feel the difference, right? And when you get to the point where you can literally pick any weight, with exception to like super, super lightweight, let's say I normally do 40-pound curls, I could still grab 20-pound curls and get a really good workout in because I have evolved my mind muscle connection to a point where I'm able to utilize the bicep to its fullest capacity no matter what the weight is. And I think it was Lee Haney that said it best. He's I believe, 8-time Mr. Olympia. What he said was something along the lines of, you want to stimulate, not annihilate, right? We're not powerlifters. We're essentially bodybuilders. We're building our body, not our strength, right? If we were somebody who's building strength, then of course, just getting from top to bottom, that's all you're worried about. But the process in between is where you're responsible for recruiting as much of the muscle as possible in order to stimulate it as much as possible and in order to get the most growth possible, right? So that's mind muscle connection. And then when it comes to training intensity, another very, very important thing, and this sort of ties everything together, are you giving up too early on your sets? Are you really truly taking your muscle to failure? Because if you're not, then you're leaving gains on the table. But not only that, you're telling your body that it has already provided you with enough muscle to do the movement. So we'll use curls again for an example, right? If I'm doing a curl and I'm on my 8th rep and then my 9th rep, I could barely get it up, right? And then I stop the set. What I'm telling my body essentially is that, okay, body, thank you. You've given me enough muscle to do the weight that I need to do. There's no need to provide me with anything more. But rather, if I get to that 9th rep, then I go for a 10th, and I go for an 11th, a 12th half rep, right? A 13th half rep. Those reps are the ones that matter, okay? Because like I said, your body gave you enough muscle to do the first 8 reps, but it hasn't given you enough to do 9, 10, 11, 12. So always push a little bit further. always push a little bit further than you plan to go, even if it's a quarter rep, half rep, whatever it is. Like I said, those are the most important reps. You know, training intensity is so important, even beyond how you're doing your sets. It's that like animalistic sort of feeling you want to get into when you're stepping into the gym. And I know some people have a hard time finding that intensity, but things like having the right music in and kind of just getting quiet, getting into the zone, warming up nicely, getting a good pump, those are the kind of things that could flip that switch for you in your mind where you start breaking a sweat, you're feeling good, you're feeling pumped up, and then everything just starts to work a lot better, right? You feel a lot better, more energized, more intense. You want to leave the gym feeling like you truly did something, right? You did some damage and the reward is coming. Next time you go to the gym, your bicep might be a little bit taller, a little bit fuller. And it's an amazing feeling because you're going to continue to progress. You're not going to hit plateaus. As long as your intensity is there, your mind muscle connection is in check, you're progressively overloading the muscle, you're pushing yourself past your boundaries, you're sitting in that zone of pain, sending the right signals to your body to provide you with more muscle. And like I said, you're going to continue to grow if you keep doing these things. Next up, when it comes to nutrition, keep it very simple. If you want to gain muscle, you eat more calories than you burn in a day, and you eat 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight. So I weigh 165 pounds, and my maintenance calories is around 3,000. So right now I'm eating 3,250 calories a day, and I'm eating 165 grams of protein. Now, you don't want to go crazy high on your calories or too far away from your maintenance because the more far away you get, the less efficiently your body will build muscle. So those excess calories are going to get stored as fat. So what I like to do is stay within that 250 to maybe 500 calorie range past my maintenance in order to maximize my muscle gain and minimize my fat gain. This way I could stay lean, stay vascular, and all that good stuff. It also depends on what look you're trying to achieve. That's just my personal preference. But yeah, 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight and eat more calories than you burn in a day. I'll find a maintenance calorie calculator for you guys and put it in the description. This way you guys can find out where you're at and go from there. Now, when it comes to recovery, very important. Recovery is a big bottleneck for a lot of people when it comes to building muscle because they think that more input is going to equal more output. So more training means more muscle, but you need to have the balance of training and recovery. You could think about sort of every time you break down the muscle, or every time you work out, you're giving hours to your workers inside your body that rebuild the muscle. So let's say I do a bicep session. That means I gave the workers in my body a 24 to 48 hour contract to go in, rebuild the muscle. This way it's stronger, bigger, better for next time, right? And if I'm not allowing these workers to work and to fulfill their hours, then I'm not going to get any progress. There's nothing that's going to be rebuilt. It's just going to be broken down, right? So you need to have this good balance between recovery and training. Now, to get into specifics, each muscle takes around 48 hours to recover. So if I'm working biceps on Monday, I don't touch them until Wednesday. And that goes for workouts where you're using your biceps as an accessory too, right? So I'm not going to do biceps Monday and then work my back on Tuesday because that's again going to recruit my biceps. You need to be a bit calculated when it comes to building out your routine to give your muscles enough time to recover. And that brings me to my next point, rest days. Rest days are incredibly necessary. So when it comes to how many rest days a week you need, my best advice would be to gauge it by how your body feels. So I work out 6 days a week, which means most weeks I'll have one rest day, but there's a lot of weeks when I need more than that. For some reason, my body's not working like it should. I feel run down, my body feels flat, overworked, and underrested. Then I'll, throw in a second rest day in that week. It's not the end of the world, and if anything, it's definitely going to benefit you in the long run, right? Listen to your body, see how it feels. If you feel like you could just go, then go ahead and do it. But at least always have one rest day and then 2 rest days during weeks you're just not feeling 100%. So during your rest days, you want to make sure you're providing your body with all the tools it needs to repair the muscle back to full capacity, right? So that means good nutrition, lots of protein, because that's when your body is going to be a sponge, right? All these nutrients are going to be utilized, filling up all the muscles, repairing everything, giving your body all the nutrients it needs to get back to 100%, right? Sleep, of course, very, very, very important. Sleep leaks into every aspect of the gym, and never mind just the gym, every aspect of your life, right? So get your sleep in order. I say 8 hours a day is a good sweet spot. When you're sleeping, your body's releasing growth hormones, your body's repairing everything. It's in a completely rested state. So you're allowing your body to just repair, right? No stress, no nothing. Just get to work, right? And another way that your sleep is going to affect the way your body builds muscle is when you're well rested, you're well recovered, you're going to have so much better training sessions, right? Whereas if you go and you have to force yourself every day to go to the gym because you're tired, because you didn't sleep well, you can't get into that like animalistic state. You can't flip the switch because your mind's just not there. You're just tired and you feel lethargic. Your workouts are going to suffer. And of course, in turn, your gains are going to suffer too. So yeah, guys, keep things simple beyond the splits and the studies and all of this kind of stuff. Get good training sessions in, constantly challenge yourself, focus on the mind muscle connection. When it comes to nutrition, eat a little bit more than your body burns in a day and get 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight. When it comes to recovery, make sure you're having those days off, 48 hours between each muscle worked. Get good sleep, get good recovery, and everything is going to continue to progress forward. But anyways, guys, I hope this video all made sense and helped you guys out. If you guys have any questions, please feel free to leave them in the comments down below. I'd be happy to help out. But for now, guys, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.